You're watching Channel 7. Welcome back to even more Daily Rundown with me, Dan Morfitt, and Ayesa Toure, and Mike Milling. Are you all right, you two?
Yeah.
We're okay.
Right, the next story is about the presumptive Republican nominee. He'll be attending the reopening of his own Trump Turnberry golf course in Scotland on the 24th of June. That's the day after Britain votes for or against staying in the EU. Last time he was here, he was interviewed by British journalists on the lawn, his lawn. The billionaire business magnate exuded confidence in his ability to clinch the Republican nomination, which seems far-fetched at the time, but hey, here we are. It's possibly going to happen. Now, the billionaire is going to be here. So does that mean you're excited? Trump's coming! Trump's coming!
So what? So what? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Big deal.
Yeah.
I mean, he comes anyway because, like you say, he's got a golf course. Why is it news?
I think it's news because it's the day after the vote.
But he's got nothing to do with it. No, and it's not to do with. It's the EU. It's whether we stay in the EU. So what has it got to do with him? I don't get it.
I think the timing, though, of it, he's probably using it for maximum effect, because whatever decision happens on the 24th, and we should get a decision, it's actually going to be announced in Manchester on Friday the 24th. He will be commenting on it, and as you're sitting there now, Mike, you're probably feeling the same, and I, as the host of the Daily Rundown, I don't care what Trump thinks about it. I really don't care what Trump thinks about it, but I think he thinks there's maximum political leverage that he can have by being here the day after and almost showing a command before he's even possibly commander-in-chief of that nation.
Yeah.
Like we don't care what he thinks about the European question, and we can't talk about it, sadly. Should we really care that much about Trump?
Well, I think we should build a wall that he can't get in. Well, I don't know where we got that idea from.
Well, that's the thing. This golf course is in Scotland.
Right.
I think just for safety's sake, we could rebuild Hadrian's Wall because the foundations are still there.
Yeah. Take a bit of manpower, but I think we can do it.
Either that or we can go to Wicks, get some fence paddling.
But wasn't there a whole thing with him, with his golf courses in Scotland?
Yeah, the one in Aberdeen. He tried to compulsory purchase some people, move them on. He made some people's lives hell. There's a very, very good documentary about it. My wife's parents are from near there in Aberdeen, and the local feeling against the man is huge, and he promised tens of thousands of jobs, a 6-star resort, a golf course that was incomparable to anything else in the world. He hasn't delivered up there. He has this other golf course is new, refreshed, and I think he's holding the Open maybe next year. I'm not a big golfer, but Trump coming to the UK, he might get the most beautiful political mark of respect you can get in the UK, which is an egg being thrown at him. Could you imagine that silky albumen and soft shell crashing into that weave on top of his head? Could you just imagine that right now?
Oh dear.
He'd probably punch like John Prescott does.
Or would he punch with those very, very small hands?
Get him out of here.
Very tiny hands.
Yeah, no, he'd get someone else to. Or he'd just, pull his gun out.
He did say he could shoot a man and would not be arrested because he's Donald J. Trump.
Really?
Do you think then, because he's coming the day after this decision's been made, we're all going to be in a...
We're either going to be in a... will really notice him, to be honest.
Do you think we'll be too concerned with what we're doing?
Well, with the actual stuff that we're meant to be focusing on.
Yeah, absolutely.
Is that quite nice then? Because he'll then come into a country that doesn't really care for him. He'll come into a country where he thinks he's the big cheese, yet we've just made one of the biggest political decisions via a referendum for a generation.
I guess he wants attention. He's expecting because there was a whole petition of people trying to keep him out when he said the whole thing about Muslims. Keeping out the country. There was a whole petition made in England that said start ban Trump from the UK.
And all these petitions that get started, I think you've got to get something like 110,000 to get talked about in Parliament. That got 500,000.
Yeah. So clearly people do mind. People do have a problem with him.
And he's got to see Sadiq Khan as well, probably.
Right.
The Muslim mayor of London.
And they've already had like a little rumoured slagging match, haven't they?
The thing is, though, could you imagine if whatever happens on the result on June the 23rd, and when Trump's over, if he comes over to this country and maybe meets Boris Johnson. If they touch each other, is it going to be like Highlander? And there's going to be lightning and their hair's going to...
There can be only one. God.
Boris Trump.
Yeah.
And on that slight Top Gear bombshell, let's go to our last story. The X Factor is bringing back some familiar faces this year as it tries to win television's Saturday night ratings war. 3 former judges are returning to the talent show. That's Sharon Osbourne, Nicole Scherzinger and Louis Walsh. Host Dermot O'Leary has also been rehired after a brief absence. In a further nod to the past, the intimate room auditions have also been revived too. Show creator Simon Cowell will again head the judging panel. So the X Factor changes. Is it all a little bit too little, too late?
Well, it just seems like they're clutching at straws a bit because the actual programme itself is becoming out of date. It's being trounced by Strictly every time it's on.
Absolutely trounced.
And I guess that they're just trying to find new ways, but they're just using old ways.
But they were the old ways.
Yes,
Like it's as if they're going back to basics,
They're digging them up.
It's almost as if, you can't...
Poor Louis.
You can't go back to that time because TV was different at the time when they were doing the auditions.
It's not that far, it's far long ago.
It was ages
but are
ago.
they going to call it Pop Idol now instead of X Factor?
Yeah.
Let's
call it Pop Idol, the rivals.
But it's like they're digging up the corpses of all these old judging celebrities.
I've never understood what Sharon Osbourne has got to do with knowing about manufactured music. Her dad was a manager, Don Arden.
But she was a manager, right?
But
she managed some metal bands.
Yeah.
Did she manage Black Sabbath for a while? And then she managed some metal bands. There was a band called Cold Chamber. There was some other metal bands.
Oh, good, I like that.
Still live ones. They were all right. No, and I'm sure, during the 90s and that kind of new metal phase, and that, I'm sure she...
So what? Again, my question is, what does Sharon Osbourne
exactly? You're right.
have anything to do with
pop music?
At least Louis Walsh is a bit of a legend, Westlife, Boyzone.
Well, I mean, but he's a nutter. he's a bit of a fruit.
That's Mike Milling's opinion.
He's a bit of a Fruit Loop, but it's weird. What are they going to do to make it? How can they make it better again? They're just bringing old people. I think they should swap judges with other shows, and maybe X Factor should have Greg and John from MasterChef judging it, and then have those judges on MasterChef, or maybe Mary Berry and Paul Hollywood.
that would be Saturday night entertainment.
He's very Simon Cowell-esque. Well, they could just get people who know nothing about music. Yeah, Gordon Ramsay,
Nicole Scherzinger.
Nicole Scherzinger.
Come on, that's an own goal.
Hey,
are you going to be looking forward to seeing little Louis Walsh on the TV? You remind me.
I don't watch it. I'm afraid I don't.
Right. Well,
is this because you don't have a television at home, or X Factor's just not your cup of...
You're watching Strictly on a Saturday night.
I watch Strictly, I'm
sorry.
There you go.
You're not in the minority.
I really am. Back in the day when Rowetta was singing and it was fresh, etc. I enjoyed it, but I think it has really...
had its day,
It's had its day.
We've had enough of the gimmicks,
as you say,
haven't we?
it doesn't seem to be able to renew itself. I don't
that's
know
Doctor Who. You'd get into.
It just doesn't seem to be able to kind of redeem itself.
Yeah.
It's been trying, as you say, for so long.
But they tried to change it all last year by bringing in
Ollie
Mars
but
and
they've been
Caroline
trying to change
and...
it for some time, as you said. They've been trying to change it for at least the last 5 years, and nothing they seem to do works. It just, I don't know what it is. I don't know whether it's just the format, or it's just we've just become bored of this, singing, big ballad thing, or what.
Because it wasn't just the show that they controlled. There was a system, and then there'd be the show, and then there'd be the winner single, and that winner single would become the Christmas #1, and they had that for a good few years until there was a whole Rage Against the Machine thing, and that was the kind of beginning of people starting to say, hey, maybe we don't want it
although Rage Against the Machine were on Simon Cowell's label. Which sort of ruins it slightly.
I know that. but that's an example of the fact that some people were just getting a bit sick of it.
But it's weird. They did try and change it last year by bringing in judges from other shows, from The Voice, Rita Ora. She's the one who basically wore sellotape every week. Nick Grimshaw from the Radio 1 breakfast show. None of that worked. And then we've got Britain's Got Talent. The final was this week, and hardly anybody watched it.
I watched it.
I watched it as well.
I watched it. I thought it was brilliant. I loved it.
So you're still thinking Cowell's Got Talent?
Yeah,
well, I think they are very different programs.
Yeah, they're different programs, I don't know. There's something about that still works. There's something about Britain's Got Talent has like pathos. There's like stories.
It's more of a traditional format because there was stuff in the 70s like the New Faces and
Opportunity Knocks,
stuff that broke like Victoria Wood and
Lenny Henry,
brilliant talent. Exactly. So I think it's a very different programme because there has been a tradition of Britain's Got Talent, those kind of programmes that have always been there. X Factor tries to manipulate the charts quite a lot.
I love the fact that we talked about X Factor, and I thought you'd hate Britain's Got Talent, but my God, you absolutely love it.
Right. It's also,
Mike Milling absolutely loves Britain's Got Talent.
And so does Ayesa Toure.
Ayesa Toure absolutely loves Strictly as well.
Bake Off rules.
Too.
And Bake Off.
And the Bake Off, brilliant. Love it.
I also like Newsnight.
No.
What's the show called?
The Daily Rundown. Love that one too.
That's all we have time for in this part of the show, but we'll be back next with Trevor Dwyer-Lynch to talk about the lip sync battles coming to the UK. All of that on the Daily Rundown in just a couple of minutes.